have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt, and we have got to meet fire with fire.
Tonight, California Governor Gavin Newsom is pushing ahead with a redistricting plan as the fight for control of Congress heats up ahead of next year's midterms. Critics of this effort in California quick to respond.
That is what this gerrymandering scheme in California is ultimately about. An attempt to take power away from voters and put it in the hands of politicians.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Governor Newsom officially launched that redistricting campaign earlier today in response to President Trump and Republican-led states like Texas. And tomorrow we expect that California Democrats will release a map of new congressional districts meant to benefit Democrats. KTVU political reporter Greg Lee has more tonight on this growing battle.
Inside the Democracy Center at LA's Japanese American National Museum, a spirited rally in support of Governor Newsom's partisan plan to redraw congressional maps to counter similar efforts by Republican-led states like Texas, pushed by the president.
Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back.
We're here making Los Angeles a safer place since we won't have politicians that'll do that.
Steps outside, Border Patrol agents swarm and detain at least one man as the clash between California Democrats and the White House boils over.
Everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States. I said it a moment ago, wake up, America, wake up.
Some of the state's largest labor unions standing in support of a redistricting ballot measure that Democrats are poised to put before voters in a November 4th special election. They're calling it the Election Rigging Response Act, and it would redraw congressional lines to help the party potentially pick up 5 additional House seats if Texas or another red state moves forward with a new map benefiting Republicans.
SEIU members are ready to fight. SEIU members across the board, black, brown, Asian, white, we are worried about our democracy.
Our union stands in full support of this ballot initiative. We are ready to do whatever it takes to stop this power grab and fight back against any and all attacks.
As Democrats launch their yes campaign, the no side is pushing back. In a statement, the California GOP said about Newsom, he calls it transparent and temporary, but it is really a calculated power grab that dismantles the very safeguards voters put in place. Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley, whose seat is likely to be targeted in a new map, continued his opposition to the plan.
Having mid-decade redistricting this year cascade across the country in some sort of domino effect will be a huge distraction and a very unhealthy thing for representative government.
California lawmakers will introduce bills Monday to create frameworks for a special election, temporary maps, and affirming the independent commission will continue its work in 2030. Democrats made it clear at the rally they will make this campaign about more than just new lines.
Now we are on the precipice of another great threat to our democracy, and that is this effort by Donald Trump and Republicans in Texas to take people's vote away.
We're giving the people of this state the power to save democracy, not just in California, but all across the United States of America.
Greg Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And you saw that scene with immigration agents outside of the venue where the governor spoke today. And the man who led that group of federal agents outside the governor's rally said he didn't know the governor was in there.
I don't know where he's at.
He's about 100 feet behind us. Do you have any comment from him or anything?
Again,
any message?
We're making Los Angeles and California a safer place. We're going to continue to do that, and they can take that one to the bank and cash it.
That is Chief Agent for U.S. Customs and Border Protection Greg Bovino taking questions outside of the venue today as fellow agents did make arrests of suspected undocumented immigrants there in the area. Images posted to the Citizen app show a couple dozen federal agents outside the rally venue. It is still unclear exactly how many arrests were made earlier today. Earlier, we had a chance to speak with Sonoma State political science professor David McEwen, who said Governor Newsom is going to have to rally support and raise a whole lot of money in order to succeed with this plan.
You have to set this in terms of timing, and you have to raise a lot of money, and it has to be beyond your normal coalition. So that's where you get strange bedfellows. You're going to have Republicans against this, sure, but are you going to have, for example, beyond the league, other goo-goos, other good government types, and what's that coalition look like?
McEwen said that spending on the redistricting ballot measure could easily reach $250 million in California. Well, legislators in Utah have already done some redistricting that split up a Democratic stronghold into 4 reliably Republican districts. As Fox 13's Max Roth reports tonight, a judge is expected to rule soon on a lawsuit pushing to scrap those new district boundaries.
Republicans in Texas want to draw lines to do what Utah already did during the mandated redistricting after the 2020 census. Hi, Max Roth here. I'm on 39th South and about 21st East. The reason? 3 districts converge right here. So if you look to your right, my left behind me, people living that way are in congressional district number 1. You extend that out and you're talking about the entire northern notch of Utah, including Davis and Weber counties, Logan, Brigham City. And if I go over here to the left, that's district 2. It wraps around Salt Lake's west side and then goes all the way southwest to Cedar City, Kanab, and St. George. I mentioned 3 districts converge. If you go this way, the people who live on the other side of these buildings are in Congressional District 3. That sweeps all the way down through Provo and Orem, and then to the southwest, all the way to Blanding and Bluff, the 4 corners. Stay on 39th South and drive 10 blocks west. It's another convergence of 3 districts. Now I'm standing in District 2. District 3 is right over there. And that's District 4. It takes in Murray and then all the more conservative cities in southwest Salt Lake County and stretches through the western side of Utah County through San Pete. Utah lawmakers sidelined the commission created by voters to draw congressional boundaries. Now that's the subject of a lawsuit.
The Utah makeup and the population, if we're truly being represented, it would likely be that we'd have 3 Republicans and a Democrat. That's just the makeup of the population. We have been working since the legislature stripped the authority from our commission. Since I think that was 2020, 2021, we've been supporting a lawsuit to reinstate Proposition 4 as it was originally written.
As other states decide whether they're going to follow Texas's lead, Utah is in this strange situation where if we see a change, it's more likely that the Democrats would gain a seat in a very Republican state. In Salt Lake County, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And political operatives in several other states are considering whether to start redistricting efforts of their own. For more information, you can head over to our website, westcoastrap.com, and get a breakdown of where those potential redistricting battles stand right now. Well, the eyes of the world will be focused here on the West tomorrow when President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin meet in Alaska. The world leaders are planning to meet at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage. This meeting will mark Putin's first time on U.S. soil in nearly a decade. The primary focus of their conversation is expected to be how to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. People in Anchorage say they're looking forward to learning about what comes from this meeting.
I'd hope to have them come to a better resolution, figure things out, and be able to talk to each other in a reasonable manner, because obviously it affects me and it affects everybody in the United States, but we'll see what comes from it.
President Trump believes that President Putin is ready to make a deal when it comes to Ukraine after more than 3 years of fighting. Trump says Russia will face severe consequences if things don't go well during tomorrow's meeting. Today, Putin sounded optimistic.
The current American administration is making, in my opinion, quite energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities, stop the crisis, and reach agreements that are of interest to all parties involved in this conflict in order to create long-term conditions of peace.
A peace deal would likely require at least a second meeting involving Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who believes that Putin cannot be trusted. He says he will be waiting for a call from President Trump to hear how that meeting goes tomorrow. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, a growing number of large businesses betting big on Nevada, how the state stands to benefit financially from this trend.
And we're taking you outdoors, taking a look at Phoenix, where there is a special weather statement in effect. We'll talk about that with your West Coast Wrap forecast.
There's that run, row, run component, which literally takes rowing out of the water.
Also tonight, a brand new sporting event is coming to the Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 2028. Tonight we'll show you how athletes are already training. A new disaster emergency is in effect in Colorado because of ongoing wildfires. Today, Governor Jared Polis signed an executive order declaring the emergency. He says it will boost the state's ability to jump on fires early in partnership with local communities. That includes the ability to deploy the Colorado National Guard if requested by the state's Department of Public Safety. There are 9 large wildfires burning right now in Colorado. More than 2,000 firefighters are on the front lines. A new wildfire has people evacuating some remote areas in Southern California tonight. The Hawk Fire began this afternoon in Acton. Crews say it's threatening some homes and buildings in the Angeles National Forest. Tonight, there's no containment on this fire, which has burned at least 300 acres. The cause is still under investigation. Another fire that began in Southern California early today is now 40% contained tonight. The King Fire is burning about 30 miles northeast of the Hawk Fire. Evacuation warnings were issued for people in remote homes in this area. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour fueled these flames today. Nearly 600 acres have already burned.
The one thing that we want the motoring public to know is with the erratic winds that have been forecast, Interstate 5 could close again, and just to be prepared for that.
And you mentioned that the northbound closure is actually causing a mess right now, a real backup.
Right. Inevitably, whenever you close a couple lanes, you're going to have that backup, and here it usually extends all the way down to Castaic.
The cause of that fire remains under investigation tonight. We turn now to Utah, where a new ruling denied a man set for execution by firing squad a competency evaluation. In that ruling today, a judge said not enough has changed in Ralph Menzies' case to merit one. Menzies' attorneys argued his dementia has worsened. They wanted a new evaluation, arguing it would show that he can not be executed under the 8th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. An appeal of today's ruling has already been filed. Menzies is scheduled to die by firing squad on September 5th. He was convicted of the 1986 murder of a woman. Federal prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against a Washington state woman who's accused of murdering a Border Patrol agent. 21-year-old Teresa Youngblood is charged with shooting Agent David Mayland in Vermont back in January. Youngblood is a member of the Zizians, a cult-like group of radical computer scientists focused on veganism, gender identity, and AI. Authorities say members of this group are linked to at least 6 killings in 3 different states. Let's turn now and talk about our weather here in the West. And people in the Seattle area are preparing for a rare August atmospheric river. Here's a live look at the downtown area in Seattle tonight, where a whole lot of rain is expected tonight and into tomorrow. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez, who is tracking that system set to hit the Pacific Northwest. Hi, Roberta.
Hi there, Alex. Wasn't that a beautiful view of Seattle? Yeah, right. They've had a whole lot of weather this week. They kick-started the week on Monday with a high temperature of 92 degrees. Now this is that rare atmospheric river that you were alluding to. The last time they've had an atmospheric river and the Pacific Northwest was back in 2015. Now, this is anticipated to bang up against Seattle all the way into the Puget Sound area, and it will produce anywhere between about less than 1/10 of an inch of rain to about 1.5 inches between tomorrow and on Saturday, even nicking that northwestern quadrant of the state of California in the Eureka area. In Seattle today, the clouds rolled in. The average high temperature this time of the year, 77 today, topping off at 75 degrees, near perfect. We now head to Emeryville, the marina, and outside the San Francisco area, due east. Average high 68 today, 67 degrees. Now let's head to a very overcast sky in Santa Monica, just 11 miles to the west of Los Angeles, where it was 81 degrees, but it was only in the high 60s in Santa Monica. And Phoenix, look at those big billowing clouds in the foreground there. The high temperature 109, average highs 105. With these clouds, monsoonal action, and therefore we do have that beach, not that beach, it is a monsoonal, it's a National Weather Service statement for some thunderstorm activity. Okay, 110 in Palm Springs. That was the high temperature there today. 99 degrees in Tucson. They'll take that anytime. They could be under 100 degrees at this time of the year. 90 at the state capitol in California. 88 in Reno. That's the current reading, and 101 in Vegas. Again, I was talking about that monsoonal action there, and some of the outlying areas do have that statement for a severe thunderstorm rolling through that area. That statement in effect for the next 30 minutes. Meanwhile, Yakima tomorrow, 81 degrees. That's on the eastern portion of the Cascades. On the western side, 69 in Olympia with impending rain showers. Then we head to Southern California, Palmdale at 94 degrees and very dry, windy conditions, high fire danger. Tucson, 96, Scottsdale, 102. Again, the average high there is 105. So Denver average high is 90. And as you can see there, Alex, temperatures, well, slightly near average by Saturday. But boy, it's been a hot summer for the Mile High City.
All right, Roberta, thank you. Coming up tonight here, we want to let you know right now that some of America's biggest companies are moving to Nevada. Fox 5's Kim Passoff spoke with an attorney about what is luring those big businesses to the state.
I'm incredibly optimistic about Nevada's future. I decided that I want to spend the rest of my life in Nevada. I took and passed the Nevada bar in February just because I believe that there's going to be more work for Nevada lawyers for business issues coming here.
Benjamin Edwards, Associate Dean for Faculty Development and Research at the William S. Boyd School of Law at UNLV, like a number of major American companies, now is betting big on Nevada.
One of the most notable and significant is the world's largest venture capital fund, Andreessen Horowitz, Fidelity National Financial. It's huge. And it MSG Sports, MSG Entertainment, the Sphere, they're paying for the privilege of using Nevada law. And that's generally good for us.
He's published his findings about corporations increasingly ditching Delaware, home to the majority of Fortune 500 companies, for Nevada, which he says offers a much safer bet with the potential savings in future court cost. Nevada has taken significant steps in establishing a business court system, making it easier to resolve business disputes.
Delaware gets about $2 billion a year from business entity fees, franchise fees, all the sorts of special taxes. Right now, Nevada's been collecting somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 million. If we pick up a bigger share of the market, that's potentially millions and millions of dollars, to fund public education, improving, the justice system, law enforcement, all sorts of needs we have.
And that was Fox 5's Kim Passoff reporting tonight. Earlier this year, the Chief Justice of the Nevada Supreme Court announced plans to pursue the creation of a dedicated business court in the state. He believes a court that specializes in complex mergers, fiduciary duties, and contractual disputes will enhance the state's business climate. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, hitting the beach to try out a new Olympic sport that will be making its debut at the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. What it takes to come out on top in beach sprints. Plus, see how some veterans are getting invaluable support from man's best friend.
He steals the show, man. He's the star, not me. He loves everybody.
Bay Area-based YouTube says it is testing a new way to check if users are minors using artificial intelligence. The AI tool will estimate a user's age based on what they watch rather than the birth date they provide. If AI determines someone is under 18, they will be notified and security protections will be turned on automatically. Google, YouTube's parent company, says the policy is in line with online safety laws designed to protect children. Some industry experts say they like the idea.
I think it's an interesting and beneficial for Google and YouTube way to solve a problem that I think we've all known existed on the platform, which is, underage users have access to a lot of content that they maybe shouldn't.
If the AI tool is wrong about a user's age, they will have the option to prove their age with a government ID or credit card. Athletes in Southern California are preparing for a new sport that is set to debut at the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. About 24 people gathered in Long Beach on Sunday to try out beach sprints. The workshop was run by U.S. Rowing In this sport, athletes run from the water line to a boat, they row a slalom course, and then they turn around and dash the shore to a finish line buzzer. All of that in about 3 minutes or so. Lots of these athletes are longtime rowers who wanted to try something new.
It's amazing that we're going to host it right here in Long Beach and that the Olympic site is less than a mile away. And we're just really, really excited about the next 3 years and the athletes that we're going to see come through the program. And yeah, it's just an amazing thing.
Interest in beach sprints has risen since it was announced for the Olympics, especially since the games will include a lightweight category, which is popular among smaller athletes. Finally, tonight, a program underway in Arizona forms special connections between military veterans and dogs. Fox 10's Irene Snyder spoke with a couple of those vets who say they get help from their canine best friends.
Showing us that both of us, we can both do the training, and just building our confidence.
They call dogs a man's best friend for a reason. That saying couldn't be more true for Craig DeRosia and his boy Raleigh.
He was a pet beforehand, before we started going through the service training. So with the rest of the family, I mean, he steals the show, man. He's the star, not me. He loves everybody.
DeRosia is an Army veteran, and Raleigh is now being trained as his service dog.
Rolly helps me by kind of grounding me in situations where I might have a panic attack or I'm just struggling to kind of go through maybe some kind of daily activity and kind of bring me back what I call center myself, and to be able to know that everything's fine, I'm safe, he's safe, we're safe.
The pair going through the Soldier's Best Friend program together. That nonprofit, along with Fulton Homes Operation Canine Companion, providing over $25,000 in training and support.
The gift will provide resources that we might need to continue through the training. You know, if his boots, get tore up and he needs new ones, or training treats, things of that nature to kind of help through the training.
A recent graduate of the program, Army veteran Mike Christensen, and his service dog Scout also showed up for the occasion.
Years down the road, there was a void, and for a lot of different reasons, and it's odd how sometimes PTSD can, you can compartmentalize it and not deal with it, and then it surfaces down the road.
Both teens demonstrating just how much a service dog can truly change a veteran's life.
This dog, this service dog, who started out as a pet, has fulfilled such a void in my life.
Calms me down, lets me know everything's okay.
Irene Snyder, Fox 10 News.
Yeah, those service dogs making such a huge difference for veterans. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching. As always, a reminder, before we head out, you can stay up to date on all the stories we're covering across the West at our website. It's westcoastwrap.com, and stream our shows on your smart TV by downloading the free Fox Local app. We'll leave you with this gorgeous shot of downtown Seattle. Have a great night.